nothing else matters. My feet in the stirrups, I'm so happy. There's nothing like the sound of Carolina hoofbeat.
We're here today in Orem, North Carolina with Gene Parker at Gene Parker Farms, and Gene has been running a world-class breeding facility here for a number of years. He's won about every award possible in the horse industry, and we're going to learn a little bit about what it's like to run a breeding farm and to operate on this level. We're here with Gene Parker at Gene Parker Farms in Orem, North Carolina today. We're going to learn a little bit about what it takes to run a breeding farm. There's a whole lot of science to it and a whole lot of medical stuff, and Gene's become quite an expert over the years. So tell us a little bit about the lab that we're in and what all this stuff does.
Okay. Well, we're in here. We've got several things that are very vital in the breeding operation. We have an ultrasound machine. Incubator, have a couple of incubators actually to keep things warm that you use in breeding. Have a centrifuge, which is used to get the plasma out of horses' semen when we collect them. Semen counter that we use to see what the count on the stallion is when we collect them. We've got several microscopes. Got platform microscope that we use for on embryos. We're recovering embryos, and then a standard microscope to check semen with every time we get it in, and when we use it here on the farm also. The blue containers you can see around, they're called equitainers. We use those to ship semen, cool semen, and we also receive cool semen for different stallions. We collect stallions here on the farm. We breed with chill semen or just semen that day we collect.
Right.
We ship semen. You can ship it anywhere in the country. California, Texas, Indiana, we ship a lot everywhere. On frozen semen, we do ship some of that. It can go, we have got some semen that can go overseas. Most people use chilled semen. It's a lot simpler to deal with than the frozen semen. We have a lot of the drugs we use here for mares, oxytocin, Lutalize, tranquilizers, things like that. When we're dealing with some of the mares that we're doing. We do, like I said, we receive semen from different farms. We also do embryo flushes, recovery. I don't have the reset mares here. I ship those embryos, but we usually fly them wherever they're going to, either Florida or here in North Carolina. We have some Ohio. Sometimes we send them to Texas, wherever the owner wants the embryo sent to.
Right.
Which makes it more convenient for them.
And an embryo flush is when, like if you had a show horse that you were showing and you didn't want her to be tied down with being pregnant, another horse could be a surrogate.
Sure. And a lot of people do that with their show mares, and then there's a lot of people who do it with mares that they don't want to carry. Some of the mares that are pretty valuable, they don't want to carry, they'd rather a surrogate mare. Also, it is a lot safer on some of those mares. They'll get maybe 2 or 3 embryos a year out of a mare, so they can flush her to different stallions, and we've done that quite a bit.
Right.
We've got several mares here now that we flushed embryos out of one stallion. They'll go to another stallion and maybe another stallion, so you can maybe get 2 or 3, and you can do multiple embryos a year, just according to how the mares flush and things like that. It's not 100% every time, but pretty successful with it.
And that's also good if your mare, I guess, is not good at carrying a baby or being a mama necessarily.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah,
not all of them are cut out for that.
No, and especially young mares that never have had a foal is a little tough on them. But and a lot of people have show mares that they want to continue showing, so we'll flush the embryo out of them, and they can go continue showing that mare. And we do that quite a bit. We've got some mares here from New York, New Jersey. Got here from North Carolina, South Carolina, different places that people send in mares. And I think one reason we get the show mares, because we do have show horses too, and we maybe take care of them a little better than, not that other people don't, but we know how to take care of the show mares better than a lot of people do, because we do have show horses too. Yeah.
Definitely. And I can see where with the show mares, there's so many things that would come into play with their care, because you don't even want their hair to get nicked.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all those little tiny details that y'all would know about.
Yeah, well, we keep a lot of the show mares people have, we actually keep in their show barn instead of the mare motel. We got 40 stalls here in the mare motel, and we've got 20 in the show barn. And some people want the mares brushed and curried, exercise every day, just like they would be in a show program. So we keep show mares there for them. And we've had people come pick them up and take them to the horse show the same week and do pretty good with them. So it goes pretty smooth sometimes.
My name is Scott Brookins, and I am the owner of Brookins Construction and MD Barn Master of the Carolinas. At MD Barn Master, we have the best warranty in the business. We have a variety of designs to choose from. Our barns are easily customizable to meet your needs. We have financing available to those who qualify. Our barns are fire resistant, and they hold their value with little maintenance. Let us build your dream barn for you today.
People from around the Triangle come to Carolina Barbecue of Garner off Highway 70 because they know what they'll get. Authentic Eastern North Carolina chopped barbecue, Southern fried chicken, hush puppies, Brunswick stew, and more. But did you know that they'll come to you? For your next backyard party, company event, graduation party, weddings, rehearsals, or any other occasion, you bring the people, and Carolina Barbecue of Garner will bring the pig. Call 773-0222.
Follow me to Carolina Barbecue.
So everything in here is just like it would be in a doctor's lab.
Yeah, pretty sterile and pretty clean. You got to keep everything clean and neat, and know where everything's at in a hurry. When you come in here looking for something, you got to be able to lay your hands on it. You won't be looking around, and got everything organized to where we can get to it and get it done. Yeah.
And you were saying that once that you get the mare's semen implanted in them, you keep them for a while to be sure that they're in foal.
Yeah, we'll check the mares around 14 days, and we'll check them again every week. 21 days, 28 days. They get 35 to 40 days. They're pretty safe to go home. So we have a lot of people that'll keep their mares here to get 35, 40 days, and they'll take them home and maintain them at home. And then some we'll keep year round. Some mares have to be placed on a regiment of Regimate. Some mares don't hold a pregnancy very good sometimes. Most of the mares do. You get some of your older mares and some of the actually young show mares that don't produce enough progesterone to keep them in foal. So usually we'll check the progesterone level, and if it's high enough, we'll leave it alone. If not, we'll add a daily supplement of 10 cc of Regimate every day to keep them in foal. And
drugs like Lutalice make them come in season, so they're ready to be bred.
Yeah, Lutalice, and some people call it Prostin. Lutalice is a way of trying to make a mare come into heat if she's got some activity on her ovaries and things like that. If she doesn't have any activity in her ovaries, you can do more damage than good sometimes. And there's other drugs. Regimate is a good drug to put a mare on for 10 to 15 days, and then Lutalice, and then hopefully they start cycling if they all read the book. They don't all read the book.
Right. So. They don't always obey either.
So it's kind of sometimes everything goes just like it's supposed to, and then sometimes it doesn't.
And I've heard of people putting the mares under lights. Is that? Explain why you do that.
That's a major thing. If you got a mare you want to breed earlier in the year, they need at least 16 hours of light. I always tell customers, if you've got a mare you want to try to be breeding in early February, you need to start that mare in January. Start her under lights. Example would be if you've got the mare turned out, bring her in at night, let her be under lights until 11 o'clock at night, let them go off, and then come back on next morning about 6 o'clock. And it needs to be enough light to where I could say a 12 by 12 stall, consider that you'd need a couple of 200 watt bulbs burning to give her enough light to, because and she'll start slipping her hair. It's just like springtime. They'll start doing that. It's an artificial way of doing it. And if you don't do it, you might be into March, April before that mare starts cycling like she's supposed to. And a lot of mares will show heat, and they're not really cycling. They're not building follicles and things like that early in the year. So it's something that really needs to be considered back in early December, starting the mares under lights, and you'll find out they start cycling a lot better. And we don't start breeding before the first week in February, so that gives them about 6 weeks of light before we get. And usually they're pretty good. This winter's been a extremely tough winter for us because of the weather stayed so bad so long, and
Right.
some of the mares you think were going to start cycling in March wouldn't never start till late April or something like that this year.
Do you do the same thing with the boys? Put them under lights?
The stallions, yes, and matter of fact, they need darkness too. Even the mares. Actually, after breeding season gets over with, we take the lights off of them, and they need to go through a darkness period for the stallions. And then in early December, I'll bring them in, put them under lights. We'll put them in maybe in the mare motel in late summer or early fall, and just leave the lights off of them and just let them be natural light. We turn them out every day, and we'll let them hair up and just kind of be horses, and it's good. It's good for them. And then we'll start 1st of December. I'll bring them into the stallion barn, start them under lights, and change their feeding program around a little bit, and they'll start cycling better themselves, just like the mares. They'll start producing more semen and better quality semen.
Okay.
Yeah. This is one of the stallions we're standing. It's One Silent Clue. He's world champion 5 times. He's a High Point Auto Horse of the Nation as a 2-year-old. He's been granted to Congress in the open and amateur. Belongs to a Dr. Wheeler from Illinois. We've had him here since he was 3 years old. He started several world champions. Really good-minded horse. Been a great horse to deal with. He ships very well and good temperament. So he is, and he's, like I say, he started several world champions.
Beautiful. And what about this one?
This horse is T Coolest. T Coolest is 19 years old this year. He started a lot of world champions. He actually used to belong to a lady Huntington Beach, California, Honey Manick, and a few years back I bought him from her. He's been a really good horse for me. I've shown several world champions by him, and good-minded horse. They're all good-minded, good-legged. Easy horses to collect, easy to deal with. So they're kind of a joy to be around. When some stallions are not, they're a little bit tougher to deal with, things like that. But these horses have been very good. I have had as many as 7 stallions here. We've only got 4 here this year. We sold a couple of them in the last year or so, and we've had English horses, we've had Western horses, we've had a little of everything. So we'll and they come and go just like everything, just like show horses. Next year we might have a whole different group here. These 2 stay here year round.
Right.
So
Looking for the perfect bed and bail? From the moment you drive through the gate, relax and enjoy all Hawks Crest Manor has to offer. Whether you're coming for a wedding, a family reunion, a trail ride, a weekend away with the girls, or from a busy, bustling meeting in the city, make our house your home. Located in Spring Hope, North Carolina, minutes from downtown Raleigh, Rocky Mount, or Wilson. Schedule your reservation today.
You know, you don't need a PhD in tractorology to understand that more power is a good thing. Mahindra tractors are engineered for maximum power and backed by a 5-year powertrain warranty. Yes, sir, Mahindra tractors even have enough power to give the competition a lift. Take a good look at the world's #1 selling tractor, Mahindra.
a few things I know, we've got a lot of different color tags, a lot of numbers. Over the course of a breeding season, when mares come in, they're all the different stallions.
Right.
And we have so many different ones that it's hard to keep up with them by name, so we have numbers for everything. So when I have one that needs shoeing, or the vet needs to see it, or we need to go get it to palpate ultrasound, or I can tell the boys, give them a list of numbers to go get. We have different colors for different stallions. Ship semen mares use different colors. Stallions here on the farm use different colors.
Right.
We've had as many as 100 mares to one horse here. You see all the yellow tags.
Yeah.
One time we had a horse here that we bred over 100 mares to 1 year, and different ones. But that's the way to keep up with them. It's kind of like inventory. You know, you might have 120 mares here on the farm at one time, and all of them you can't get them mixed up when you're shipping semen in from one horse or a different horse.
Right.
You've got to know what you're doing and which mare is which, and it makes the bookkeeping, which is a big part of it. You got to keep meticulous records on every day you palpate one ultrasound, what day she was bred on, so you know what day to check that mare, see if she's bred, or if it's embryo flush 7 days later. You've got to keep meticulous records and keep up with all that.
I know quarter horse in particular is very meticulous with their records and their DNA, so you can't afford to have any kind of mistakes because they'll find them
and things like that. And you've got to, well, actually all the breeds are like that now.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's no, you know, some people in the past have tried to do some scrupulous things, you know, out of different, fold out of different, that's over with. That, you don't see that anymore. I mean, it doesn't work anymore. We have a phantom over here, a breeding dummy that we can adjust up and down according to the stallion. Some of the horses are taller or shorter, different things, so we can adjust the height on it. It makes it safe the way I've got it set up. What we do is we'll actually bring a mare into the breeding room and we'll stand her on this side, on the opposite side, beside the phantom. We'll bring the stallion in here and let him tease the mare, which works real good because she can't kick him or hurt him. He can't really get to her.
Right.
And we'll actually clean the stallion up. We'll get ready to collect him. We'll move the mare out, bring the stallion over, and collect. And that's the safest way for a stallion to collect them without getting, you know, being interfered by or get hurt or something like that.
Sure.
It works real good.
Now, when you collect the stallion, how many mares can you breed off that one collection?
It's according to the stallion. Some, you know, I'm gonna say average from. It averages from 6 to 10 to 12, just according to the amount of volume you get out.
Right.
What the horse's count is when you get it, and the quality of it is, and it varies from day to day. They're pretty consistent, but sometimes they can be off.
Right.
Be different, you know, according to what kind of day they had, and the semen actually is 60 days old when we collect it. It could be, they could have had a bad day, or maybe a little fever, maybe a little sick or something, or maybe everything was good that day. So you'll get different, you know, different counts almost every day.
Okay.
Doesn't vary a lot, but sometimes it will. Yeah.
And what is this?
Those palpation chutes. That's where we put a mare in to palpate or ultrasound or hand breeder. We'll wash them, clean them up. We load them in. We can load them in from the back. If we have to unload them, we can open that door and go from the front.
Right.
We use it to. We put a fold. If we have a mare in a fold, we'll put a mare on one side and fold on the other side. Always have a couple of boys in there to help when we're inseminating a mare or checking her to see if she needs to be bred or we're doing embryo flush. It's just a safety factor. When you're palpating ultrasound mares, they can some of them get moved around. They can kick at you and things like that. It's just a safety feature that all breeding farms usually have. You know.
Right.
That was a little more open. I designed these gates on this one where a lot of the mares are a little shorter or something that if you have a little trouble, you can always come down and get out.
Right.
A lot of stocks are straight across, and if a mare happens to fall or do something, then you're trapped. So it kind of works a little. I designed those so it kind of works a little better.
Yeah,
safety feature.
It looks like it's very well thought out with all the things for her comfort and yours.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then you have the mare motel?
Yeah, we just shoot a shot back here. We have 40 stalls back here. We have rubber mats in every stall. These stalls, most of them are 12 by 12s. And we have fans overhead, have fans on the doors at this time of year. When it's cold weather, we close up the tops, and I have actually heaters that go into folding stalls. We have cameras set up in the folding stalls, and we have a beeper unit. If the mare starts to fold, the beeper goes off, so we fold out a lot of mares too.
Do you have any new babies?
You know, the youngest one I've got probably about 2 weeks old right now. Yeah, youngest one. Most of them, folding season's about, I've got one mare left to fold right now. Folding season's about over with, and then I've got, we got the mares and babies turned out right now. We try to get them out every day.
Right.
Yeah, get them out every day, and they'll start bringing them in this afternoon around 3:30, 4 o'clock. We let the mares all come back in at night. But like I say, we've got rubber masks, keep clean shavings, everything sanitary. We go through and pressure wash the stalls when they get ready to fold, different things like that. And we put plasma in every baby that's born. It's got a rhodococcus and salmonella protection in it. Gives that baby a boost in case the mare's not just get enough out of her immune system.
Right.
But we do put plasma in every baby that's born, usually within 24 hours to 36 hours after the foal was born. And been doing that for years, and it keeps down sickness and things like that.
It's a good idea, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Especially when they're born a little bit earlier in the winter, like February and March. And
Oh, yeah.
you never know what the weather's going to do.
Yep. Really right now.
And these trophies, are they all for the same sport or different things?
Most of these were halter horses. I've got some pleasure horse ones over there. I've won the Congress, and I've had a reserve world champion pleasure horse. People just think of me as having halter horses, but I used to show a lot of pleasure horses years ago. Won the Congress, and I've had reserve world champion junior pleasure horse, and I show Western riders, and I show rope horses, and cutter some, and things like that. We've had English horses, but these are mostly from, I think there's a junior pleasure horse picked world champion here, but most of those are halter horses over the years that either the customers have given me, and or they have duplicated them.
These are beautiful too, and these are the quarter horse Congress trophies?
Yeah, a lot of those are Congress trophies. Some of them are fraternity trophies, like these are some were won last year. The WCHA, the World Confirmation Halter. There was a breeder exhibitor owner trophies there. Some of the foals that we won with were raised here, and then some of these are Congress trophies we won over the years, and some of the Grand Champion trophies. I gave away probably 50 or 60 this year to the 4-H groups and North Carolina. Some of the new horse shows and novice shows they were putting on. We had accumulated so many of them, I had nowhere to put them, so I had boxes of them, and I gave them to, I actually gave them to Linda Falls, and she took them and was giving them out for the novice kids, and everybody's one of them has written letters back or notes about it, you know,
That's
they
sweet.
get to win something like that. So I was glad to do that. It worked out good for them, but I bet I gave away 50 or 60 of them.
And the World Confirmation Halter, you
Yeah.
founded that or were part of that?
I'm a member of it. Yep, I'm on the board of directors, things like that. That's a new association that started a few years back, and everything's got so specialized now. The reiners, the cutters, the pleasure horses have the NSBA. The reiners have their own deal. The halter horses have theirs now. It's gotten so specialized, you don't see a horse win everything. Over on the wall over there, there's some plaques over there, and there's actually a couple of horses over there that were like superior halter horses and superior pleasure horses and AQHA champions. That's something you don't see anymore.
That's right.
But I was reading something the other day. There's a mare I used to show for a customer over there, and she'd be grand champion at a horse show and then come back and win the junior pleasure the same day, and that's something you don't see anymore.
True.
And then we made AQHA champion out of her, and there's a couple of 3 horses over like that would be good enough confirmation horse to win the halter and then come back and win a Western riding or a pleasure, and that's something you don't see anymore.
True, you don't
Yeah.
hardly ever see them cross
Yeah,
over.
all-around horses are, you know, everything's got so specialized.
With all these accomplishments, what's on your radar for the future?
Well, just keep going. You know, you got to keep. You try to keep at the top of your game. You know, there's in every event you have your top riders, you have your top showmen, you have your top cutters, your top reiners, things like that. So you try to keep your level up there and be competitive every year. And you know, you can't go in there and win something one time and live off of it.
Right.
You know, over the years you've got to stay consistent. And that's what I've always tried to do. I mean, shows for me are the WCHA fraternity, which is in Mississippi, and then the other big fraternities in Iowa, and then the Congress and the World Show and things like that. Yeah.
And the futurities are designed for the younger horses?
Yeah, mostly for babies, weanlings, yearlings, things like that.
Right.
Of course, your pleasure horses are 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, things like that, and your reiners are 3-year-olds and older. But it's the fraternity is actually where you get a lot more excitement. You get to see new horses, new faces. New babies, see what they look like, see which horse is breeding the best, and maybe what you want to breed your mare to next year.
Right, that would make sense.
Yep.
Okay, well really, that's really cool. Thank you for spending time with us today.
Sure.
Gene, thank you for your time today, and I hope our viewers have enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better and about your program, and you certainly answered a lot of questions that I had about breeding. So, hope you guys enjoyed the show, and if you listen, you can hear the sound of Carolina hoofbeats.
We're your neighborhood source for everything you need from your farm to your home.
At Harper Sales and Service, a division of Harper Landscaping, we can cater to all your mowing needs, whether you need to start out with a beginner series for those smaller lawns, You can work your way all the way up to a 0 turn and even get into those bigger areas where you might have an acre or 2 or more.
My animals depend on me, and I depend on Harper Equipment Sales and Services to keep me running. From my weed eater to my tractor, they can fix it all.
When you look for Harper Landscaping, it's no sweat.
Hi, I'm Sammy Jenkins, President of North Carolina Horse Council, and we would like to invite you to come to this year's State Fair. It has been labeled the Year of the Horse, and we have tremendous lineup of entertainment.
Each day begins with a parade of breeds. All the major breeds in our state will be represented, even our state horse, the Spanish Mustang. Afterwards, catch the highlight show for a sampling of all that is to come. Watch cowboys work trail obstacles, move cows through mazes. Delight at daredevil trick riders and trick horses. Listen to the rhythm of the boards as performed by the Pasofino horse. Our headline act features Guy McLean of Queensland, Australia, multiple winner of Road to the Horse, one of the most prestigious competitions in the United States. Take a 5-minute lesson, ride a horse, maybe it's your first time. Watch drill teams from our area compete. Enjoy equestrian vaulting. See mule packing as it's done for our military. Mary Miller Jordan will be our featured headline act as well, presenting Magic of the American Mustang. Watch musical freestyles as seen in the Olympics and much more.
All the events at the Hunt Horse Complex are included in your State Fair admission. So come down, join us, and we're looking forward to seeing you.
Next week, we welcome Michael Lyons to North Carolina. Mike is the son of John Lyons, yes, the John Lyons, and is an awesome clinician and trainer now living in Asheboro, North Carolina. We move on to the Feathered Horse Classic. This event comes to North Carolina once a year in July, so we stopped by the show to see what all the fuss is about. One breed that were incredible is the Gypsy Vanner. The grooming was immaculate, the hair done to the nines, and the beauty was breathtaking. But I learned that this breed has a lot more to offer than just a pretty face. So be sure and watch this episode. See you next week. For local programming information and times that our show airs, please go to our website, CarolinaHoofbeatsTV.com.
Carolina Hoofbeats is brought to you in part by Newcomb Quarter Horses. Newcomb Quarter Horses with over 40 years experience. Find out how we can help you today. NewcombQuarterHorses.net. And also by Carolina Hoofbeats Magazine, a free publication about the horse industry in North Carolina. Catch up on the latest issue at CarolinaHoofbeats.com. And also by Southeast Equine Magazine, a free publication about the horse industry in the southern United States.
Sitting high in the saddle, nothing else matters. My feet in the stirrups, I'm so happy.